tell you today about one of the most powerful spiritual technologies that I've ever encountered in my studies of ancient wisdom. And it's called Tzedakah. And it's really simple. And it comes from my own ancestral bloodline of the Jewish tradition. And it is a Jewish secret to wealth that most people completely misunderstand. Even Jewish people today completely misunderstand it. Unfortunately, because throughout time and generations, we have distorted and destroyed the idea of even Judaism into a box of religion. And again, religion was created by men. What it really means to be a Jewish person, which is in our bloodline, it's a completely different thing. The Jewish tribe, as I mentioned in many previous videos, are here to hold codes of light for humanity. And these are codes of truth. And so that is why the Jewish tradition still holds, is the only tradition that still holds the original codes of the universe of creation. Of course, it's distorted by now. It's lost by even most Jews. But there is so much wisdom in them for us to learn from. And so I want to just be clear about one thing throughout this video. So throughout this session, I'll be using the word source. Personally, I call source the Divine Mother. You know that. In Hebrew, she's called the Shekhinah, and it is the feminine, eternal womb of the infinite, all there is. But you can call it God if you want to. I just feel the code word God is, we have to stop using it at this point because it holds very distorted codes and information of the distortion generations that have, ironically have pushed us away from what is actually God, So I don't like to use that word, so I will be using, just for the sake of this video, I will be using the word source more, not even the Divine Mother, because most people they still need, for their subconscious mind, they still need a different word from the mother, because if I say the mother, they won't connect it to God, to source, to everything. So we're all speaking the same infinite intelligence, just through a different language of the soul, and hopefully one day we will come back to the Divine Mother. So wherever you hear source, translate it into whatever name makes you feel held, whatever word makes you feel whole. So here's what the ancient ones knew. Abundance follows spiritual laws established by the Creator. These aren't suggestions, okay? They're not positive thinking or manifestation tricks. They are fundamental laws of the universe, just as real as gravity. Now, Jewish wisdom has nothing to do, again, like I'm going to repeat that a million times, has nothing to do with religion at its core. It has turned and distorted into religion by men, but it still holds the original codes of the universe and of magic. It is the only religion that does. Now, when we align with those laws, we tap into a current of a divine prosperity that transcends logic and nature. We step into a flow that was always there, waiting for us to remember. And again, I hope that you all listen to this with an open heart and an open mind, because we are in a time right now when it is such a time of chaos and confusion and lies and manipulation and just so much confusion. It is a time that we are separating from the old codes that we have been, the old spells that we've been under for generations, especially the religious spell. And we are entering to what is true. And before we enter the truth, we're swimming in so many lies right now. And that's why we have so much chaos in the world. And so we are going to remember again what's magic, what the truth of this word, what it actually means, magic. So what does Tzedakah really mean? Tzedakah is that word in Hebrew. So most people translate Tzedakah to charity, right? But that's not it at all. Charity is not Tzedakah. Charity comes from the heart, from like feeling generous. Tzedakah comes from the word tzedek in Hebrew, which means justice. Now, it's not about being nice. This is a really important distinction. When you give charities once in a while, oh, it's because I want to be nice and I want to do something nice. And, look at me, I'm so nice, I'm giving charity. No. Tzedakah is about participating in the divine flow of abundance itself. You are actually participating like in creation with the universe. We're going to go into it deeper. So in Jewish mysticism, money is not merely material. Money is sacred energy. It flows. Its flow, represents divine circulation. When we give, we keep the energy moving. We keep the energy flowing, circulating. When we hoard money, when we hoard energy, it stagnates and dies. Now, this is why, by the way, they say that, tzedakah is the main kind of secret in the Jewish tradition of why Jewish people have always been so successful with money. So you see, the universe operates on a fundamental principle. Energy must move. Money is just energy in physical form. And when energy stops moving, it becomes toxic. Now I'll give you a little thing about myself, right? So I always laughed at myself and said, oh, I'm such a horrible Jew, right? Because I was always so broke. And I just, working 3 jobs at the same time, busting my ass off, and just literally never have enough money for anything. And that's because I got the abundance codes that I got from my mother and father were horrible. Like my father was the cheapest man in the world, and my mother was my father was also injured in his head. He was not a healthy man mentally. Unfortunately, he had a lot of trauma and was injured, so I can't really blame it all on him. I talked about it in one of my videos about trauma for men. And my mother, she had such a rough life. She has polio, so she was always in and out of hospitals, and she was, on crutches her whole life. She was, she's handicapped, so she also had a lot of fears, and understandable, so totally understandable, raising a single mother, raising a child. And so my money codes that I got from my parents, I had to completely reprogram myself, and I'm still working on it. And only when I started working with Tzedakah, really working with it, when I studied Kabbalah, then I realized a little bit a different language to speak with money. And I've been on this relationship mastery with money for years now, many years, right? And then I had a few more years of being broke again, and then I didn't give Tzedakah, and then the money got stuck, and then on and on and on. So let's continue, and then I can continue with my story too. If you have anything, questions or anything, write it in the comments. I'll try to answer everything. From the soul's perspective, right? Because we're looking at it from a spiritual perspective here. From the soul's perspective, there is no such thing as mine or yours, right? So it's not my money, your money. There is no such thing. There is only one infinite source flowing through different vessels. When you give tzedakah, you're not losing anything. You're not actually giving anything away. You're remembering that you are a part of the flow, not the end point, okay? This is very, very important distinction. It's not like charity. Tzedakah is the recognition that everything you have, every single coin, every single breath, every single moment of your life, it's not just about money, was never yours to begin with, right? Like your body, nothing is actually yours. You are a channel. You are a vessel. You're a channel if you're a man. You're a vessel if you're a woman. And the magic happens when you remember this truth and act from it. Now, this is where most people get it backwards. They think, when I have enough, then I'm going to give, right? That's the thought that every, basic human being has. But the universe does not work that way. And here's when we get to the secret. The giving, the actual giving, is what creates the having. So the opening of your hand, we have a saying also in the Jewish tradition, it's the opening of the hand, right, is what allows the universe to fill it again. So here's where it gets even more wild. So logic says that, again, if you give, you lose something. I give you $1,000, I lose $1,000. No. But the divine law says the opposite. Every act of charity or tzedakah multiplies the giver's portion. So this is something that the Zohar teaches. Open for me a vessel like the eye of a needle, and I will fill it. I will fit an elephant through it. It's really hard to translate. Open for me a vessel like the eye of a needle. Even if you open a tiny little opening, I will fill it, an elephant through it. Okay, so we just have to work a little bit with the universe, and the universe just wants to give us all this abundance. The more you give, the more you receive. Not because you're manipulating the universe, not because you're expecting to get something from the universe. Oh, okay, I'm going to give you 1,000, so I'm going to get 5,000 back. It doesn't work like that too. This is a real, working with Tzedakah, working with this principle and with the universe, with this universal law, takes you really deep into yourself, into a lot of your belief system, into a lot of your fears and thought, and the way you think about life, about money, about yourself, about other people. It goes really, really deep. So it's like breathing, right? You can't inhale forever. We can't do that. We must also exhale to make room for the next breath, right? Tzedakah is the exhale of wealth. I'm going to say it again. Tzedakah is the exhale of wealth, of your wealth. And when you master this rhythm with the universe, and it's not easy. It's a wonderful journey to start taking. You're not going to get it in a day. It's a dance, and it's a mastery. Receiving and releasing and inhaling and exhaling, you become a living conduit for infinite abundance. I'm telling you, I've been on this journey for so many years now, and it's getting better and it's expanding, and I'm always mastering it more and more and more. I know I'm never gonna get there. There's nowhere to get, but it's the process itself, it's the journey itself, it's the constant surrender and trusting in the universe. And it's beautiful. So Tzedakah is spiritual technology, right? This is not a moral sentiment, but it is a metaphysical science. It is a divine code, a hack in the matrix, so to speak, that shifts your reality. But when we give, Source mirrors our action with infinite generosity. Now, charity is not about being a good person, okay? It's about understanding how the universe actually works. It's about activating a law that was encoded into creation itself. And that's why when we work with universal laws, and that's why we have to study actual magic. This is why it's so important. All religions are based on magic, by the way. I'm going to repeat that again, just to be clear. All religions are based on magic. They've demonized magic, but they all based in magic. They've demonized magic because they also wanted to demonize the divine feminine and women, and we're not going to get into that portal right now. So when you give tzedakah, okay, which is, again, it's different than charity. When you give tzedakah, when you're working with this specific law, you are making a declaration to the universe. You say, I trust you, universe. I know that what flows through me is not mine to hoard or to keep, but it's mine to share. I am a part of your abundance. I'm not separated from it. Okay? So again, I wanted to make this video too, because for my birthday this year, just coming at the end of the month, I wanted to, I asked people to donate money because I want to buy a few wheelchairs for children in Uganda. And by the way, I said in the last videos I posted on my Instagram and stuff, I said Nigeria, and I apologize. I think I was really thinking a lot about what's happening in Nigeria and sending so much prayers there. And I said, we're going to send money to children in Nigeria, but it's not Nigeria. We're going to send money to Uganda. So my dear friend from Uganda, he messaged me and is like, corrected me. I'm like, I'm sorry. I've been working with him for years, and I've been sending him money whenever I can. And because I also send money to other sources, and I try to keep the tzedakah going as much as possible. And we already bought a few wheelchairs for the kids there. And in this birthday, I wanted to get many more. So I can donate all the money on my own, but I also wanted to open a door, to open an opportunity for other people to give tzedakah, because this is a secret. This is the thing. When people give to someone else, they give charity, they want to help, they think, oh, look at me, I'm helping them, I'm doing them a favor. You're not doing anyone a favor. I'm not doing a favor for the children in Uganda. When I buy them wheelchairs, when I send money to someone, when I give a meal to a homeless person, when I buy them clothes, I don't do them a favor. I'm going to give you an example. When a homeless person comes to you in the street and say, please give me money, they're giving you an opportunity to expand light in the universe. They are giving you an opportunity to expand your abundance. Are you going to take it? Are you not going to take it? Now, of course, I'm not saying you should give to every single homeless person, especially if you walk in the streets of New York or, a big city. It's not always possible. But this is still an opportunity to like, I'm not doing them a favor. I'm not doing a favor to the children in Uganda when I'm asking all of you to donate money so we can buy them wheelchairs. They're giving us an opportunity to expand our light and expand our vessel and expand our channel and be better conduits of abundance to the universe and create more light. When we're gonna buy that wheelchair for this child, you're gonna create some more light in the universe, a little bit more, and that means a lot. Okay, so please understand that. So there is only one place in all of scripture, the Jewish scripture, where God invites us to test him, right? Only one. And again, I know that God is a woman, but still I'm speaking this for everyone to understand right now. Because in the Jewish tradition, God is still a male figure. But even there, we still have wisdom to learn. So in the book of Malachi, the Creator says, test me in this. See if I will not open the windows of heaven and pour out blessing without end. This is the only place in the scripture that God not just, he wants us to test him. Test me. Give, share, move your abundance and see what I'm going to do. All right. So let that land for a moment, right? Like the divine, the infinite, all-knowing, beyond all comprehension says, I dare you. Test me on this one. Give and watch what happens. Okay. So that's it. This is the one spiritual law where the Creator literally said, I want you to trust me enough to try it and see for yourself and test me. Now, true giving comes without fear or accounting. When you give beyond logic, this is an important two words, from trust rather than security, heaven responds in kind. The Torah calls it the generosity of the hand, giving immediately without hesitation or limit. This is about commitment. When you pledge to give beyond what seems possible, right? So it's not just, oh, I know I'm going to make 10,000 next month, so I'm going to give 500, whatever, like because it's comfortable for me. That's not how it works. The law of Tzedakah means you need to give beyond what seems possible to you and beyond what seems comfortable for you. It needs to feel a little bit uncomfortable. So we're going to get more into that. So when you give beyond what seems possible, new sources of income and blessings are created. You are literally creating new sources of abundance. Source is, God, the mother. Source matches the courage of your faith with the abundance of her grace. Because here's the real secret. You don't give after you earn. You earn because you give. So this is, when people use this law in the right way, this is how they do it. Because they're going to give the tzedakah, or they're going to commit to giving the tzedakah before they earn the money. That's the secret. Okay. So I'm not going to say, some people are like, okay, they look back at the month or the year. It's like, I made $10,000 this month. That means I'm going to give 1,000. That's not how tzedakah works. It has no faith. It has no, it doesn't make me uncomfortable. It doesn't put me in a place of expansion. The right way to do it is like, okay, I haven't earned money yet. It's the beginning of the month, right? I commit to the universe. I feel like I really want to commit to giving tzedakah, giving $2,000 tzedakah this month. Okay? Now that means I need to earn $20,000 if we go with the 10% law, right? Which you can do more than 10%, obviously. But that means I give minimum 10%, but you can always give more. That means I'm not giving the 2,000 after I made 20,000. No. I give the 2,000 before, trusting the universe. This money is not mine. I feel like it needs to move through me right now, and I'm going to move it even if it's not comfortable and it's fucking scary and I don't know where my next paycheck's going to come from. But this is my promise to the universe, and this is my gift to the universe, because this money is not really mine. That's how it works. Okay? So the spiritual formula is actually reversed than what we all think. You decide how much you wish to give, and then heaven aligns your income to fulfill that intention. Though, like the thought, it becomes the vessel. Generosity, your generosity actually becomes the magnet to more abundance. You got that? Now, let me get a sip of water. Abundance is totally water element. We're going to let it flow. Like the rivers of the banks. Now, there's 3 levels of tzedakah that we know. The mystics teach us that there are 3 levels to this practice. So the first level is giving from obligation. You give because you should, because it's the right thing to do. This is like being a good person, and it's fine. You know, it opens your channel. It's totally fine. But the second level is giving from the heart. You give because you feel moved, like you feel connected to another person. You want to end suffering for someone else because you feel connected to this person or this cause. You feel because it feels beautiful. It feels expanding. It deepens your channel. Now the third level is giving from the understanding, the inner standing, that there is no giver and no receiver at all. Listen to this again. There is actually no giver and no receiver. Only the one giving to itself. So when you give, because you recognize that when you give to another, you are giving to yourself because you are connected to the other, because all is you and we are source itself. That's the deeper level, the third level. You are the other. I am those children in Uganda that I'm going to buy wheelchairs from. I am their mothers and their grandmothers that need help with the wheelchairs, right? I'm giving it to myself. I'm not doing them a favor. So this is the mastery, and this is the secret. This is where the real magic lives, and I really want you to let that sink in. Like, listen to this videos a few times more if you need to. You're probably going to need to listen to this video a couple more times at least. So most of us walk around under a spell of scarcity. Most of us in this world. We were taught that there's not enough, that we have to fight for our piece, you know, in the cake, like to get our piece of the cake. That if we give, we're going to have less. But Tzedakah breaks the spell. I'm telling you, starting to working with Tzedakah broke that spell for me. And I noticed that the spell still exists. That thought, that program still exists in me, but it's not in control over me anymore because I know better, because I've seen better. Because now I am connected to the other and the other is connected to me. So, and I also, because I'm also connected to my highest mission, and I serve the mother, I serve source, I serve the divine with everything that I do and everything that I am, right? It's beyond money even. So, but Tzedakah, again, it breaks the spell of scarcity. So every time you give, especially when it feels scary, when your ego screams, oh my God, but what about me? And I'm not going to have enough. And what am I going to do next month when I have bills to pay? You are shattering the illusion of separation. You are remembering that you are held by something so much bigger than your bank account. I've seen this magic work in my own life. And the times when I gave, even though I was afraid and did not have enough in my bank account, even though I didn't know where my next dollar would come from, those were the times that the universe showed up in ways I cannot even begin to describe to you. I couldn't even imagine in that moment. Not always immediately. Sometimes it takes time. Not always in the form that I expected, right? Because we have to also let go of how we expect this money to come back to us. We let it go completely. This money is not, remember, this money is not even mine. That should be your thought. When I give this money, it's not even mine. It's not about expecting it to come back to me 10 times fold. But it always does. So here's a deeper truth. Charity doesn't change your life. It elevates the world. It's not about, look at me, I'm a good person. Like, you know, the only time that I shared with people that I give tzedakah and, you know, I'm asking money for donations and stuff, and I told them about the children I used to buy. I bought a few times wheelchairs in Africa. It's only because I wanted to share this and have people donate money. I never tell anyone about where I donate my money. It's mine with the universe. It's my own intimate kind of contract with the universe. But the reason I'm sharing it now is not for you to say, oh, look at her, look how nice she is. She's donating money from her. Like, no, I don't fucking give a shit what you think about me. I'm trying to share my experience, right? And tell you that when I know that when I'm giving to someone else, I am opening portals to create more light in the world. And at the end, that is all we want. That is all I want, at least. That is all we need. There is enough shadows in the world. There is enough darkness. There is enough lies. There is enough evil. So in every little opportunity we have, let's use it to spread more light. In Kabbalah, every act of tzedakah repairs fragments of the divine light scattered in creation. Every time you give, you are gathering up sparks of holiness that fell when the world was born. You are mending what was broken. You are participating in the healing of all that is. Please let that sink in. Please watch these videos a couple more times. So it quickens the arrival of what Jewish people call the Messiah, right? It's not about being religious or like going to the synagogue or going to church. It's not about that. It's about those little moments in our life where we have an opportunity to create more light. When we hurt someone we love, when we lie, right? When we manipulate, we create more darkness, more shadows. We expand the shadows. When someone asks for help, when someone is like, I need kindness, like asking for kindness from you, this is an opportunity. It's a doorway to create more light. What are you going to do with it? So, and there are so many toxic people in this world. There's so much evil. And even a lot of religious people, not just Jews, but also Christians, like they talk about the return of Jesus and the, return of the Messiah. They don't understand what the fuck that is. The return of Christ, the return of the Messiah, it's only going to come when we remember that we are God, that we are a part of the Divine Mother and we are inside her womb, and that we are here all connected to each other. And when we are hurting someone else, we're hurting ourselves. And, people are so caught up on like, let me read the Bible, but they forget to help this like homeless people, like a homeless person that asks for 20 cents in the street. These are the moments that really matter. These are the moments that we can bring more light into the world. And you do that when it's the most difficult for you, not when it's easy for you. The most difficult. So, and it's a mastery and it's a practice. The Messiah, the Christ return, it's not about a return of a specific person or a man. It's the collective awakening of divine consciousness. It's the remembrance that we are light. Every act of generosity brings humanity one step closer to remembering what we really are. We are one body. We are one heart. We are one infinite expression of love itself. So, testing source leads to miracles when it comes to this law. So when we trust enough to test the divine law of generosity, the universe conspires to prove it true. It wants to prove to us that it's true. Those who give with open heart witness what logic calls impossible: wealth, health, opportunity, and joy overflowing. This is the magic. This is the technology that has kept the Jewish people not just surviving, but thriving for thousands of years. Not because they hoard, which is ironically all the lies and manipulation and the propaganda that's been told against Jewish people, that we're hoarding, that we love money and we don't give it away. That's the propaganda. That's the persona, just like they did in the Hitler time, just like they're doing now after October 7. And because you can see that, when you have a tribe, and I said it before, I'm going to say it again. When you have a tribe of light, the darkness is always going to try to demonize it. Just the way that the dark forces, the dark shadow masculine forces have always tried and still are trying to destroy women and to destroy femininity, right? So when you have a powerful woman like me, and let's say I'm dating a man, and he cannot level up to the level that I'm calling him to, rise up to his power, he's going to demonize me. He's going to say, this fucking witch, this fucking horrible priestess, she practices black magic, she's a horrible person. Why? Because that's what the shadow does. The shadow is always going to try to demonize the light. So So, okay, let's continue here. So again, because the Jewish people don't hoard necessarily. Of course, there's some people that are, like forgot about Tzedakah, but that is the principle that's been like kept through generations within the Jewish tradition. And I know, like, Jewish people, they're amazing. All over the world, you can go and you meet Israelis and Jewish people, and they will, we're fiery and we're feisty and all that, but we have the biggest hearts. And look at also other tribes. And I always talk about the tribe of Black people with dark skin. And by the way, I'm half Black. People don't know that, but my father is very Black. So people with black skin, these are the people who are here holding the codes of magic for humanity. And look at what the dark forces have been doing to them for so long. Demonizing them, humiliating, putting them down because they don't want them to remember who they really are, how fucking powerful they are. And I always like to always also mention the example of the tribe of New Zealand, the Maoris. The Maoris are incredible. I cannot tell you how much I love the Maoris, because they, for example, are holding specific codes that are so important right now, especially. Specific codes, and it's more hard to describe. Like, Jewish people are holding codes of light, and Black people holding codes of magic. The Maori people are holding specific codes of, the way I see it as a collective, the divine masculine ability to protect. And again, these words are not even like giving it the best power, because it's so powerful what the Maori tribe holds for the entire world, for humanity itself. It is amazing. And they've also been demonized. They have been kind of like, the dark forces have tried so much to make them forget who they are, but they're not forgetting, because they are fucking powerful divine masculine in their essence of protection. And it's fucking amazing. Even the women, they're so fucking powerful. Oh my goodness. Okay. So going back to the Jewish tribe again, it helped us thrive and protected us because we knew this law, this magical law, because we understand the divine mathematics of flow. And again, this is all happening subconsciously. Even if Jewish people forgot the actual, it's still in our blood. We're still practicing it. And I call all my Jewish people to practice Tzedakah more, because we need it more now. So when you dam up a river, the water becomes stagnant. Okay, so when you let it flow, it brings life to everything it touches. Be the river, not the dam. Now, let's kind of summarize this sacred practice. If this speaks to your soul, I invite you into this practice. So first, make a pledge, all right? So first, make a pledge, make a promise to the universe, one that stretches you but honors responsibility, right? Because I'm not going to pledge that I'm going to donate $1 million next month, because I know it's probably not going to happen. Not next month, okay? So don't play small also. Don't give what's comfortable. Give what makes your heart race a little bit. Like, give what requires your faith. That's really important. So this is how you make the pledge, number 1. Number 2, you're going to write it down and you're going to send it. You're going to make this a sacred contract between you and the divine, between you and God, between you and Source, between you and the Divine Mother. Put it somewhere that you're going to see it, speak it out loud, and make it real. It's a contract. If you want to even kind of like, well, you have to really, really honor this contract. And, but if you really want to make it strong, put a drop of your blood on it. Now, you have to follow through. This is huge. Consistency is faith in motion. So don't give once and wait for magic. It's like, okay, I'm going to give my tzedakah one time and then that's, no. This has to be regular. This has to be rhythmical, like as natural as breathing. It's right. So tzedakah has to always flow through you. You can decide you're going to do it once a month or, once in a couple months, but it has to be rhythmical. You have to work with the universe in this. And then you watch. As life recognizes itself to match your giving heart. And maybe your abundance is not going to come through money this month. Maybe it's going to come through something else. Be open, trust the universe. Tonight, take out whatever money you have, okay? Even if it's just a few coins, hold it in your hands, feel it, thank it. We always forget to thank our money. Just thank it. It's money. I always explain to my clients, it's a divine masculine energy. And we can use it for good, we can use it for bad. It's a tool, but it's energy. It's a divine masculine energy. The flow of it is feminine, but money itself is divine masculine. So for women, especially when I work with women, we work with money, with the money programming as well. And it's a very different way that I work with men and I work with women when it comes to money. So now, decide on an amount to give. It doesn't matter what the amount is, but again, just make it a little bit uncomfortable for you and a little scary. What matters is the consciousness behind it and the commitment. As you set it aside for giving, you can say something like this. You can, write down your own spells and your own prayers, but I'm going to give you an example. I am a vessel for abundance. I trust the flow. What moves through me is not mine to keep, but mine to share. As I give, I receive. As I open my hand, the universe fills it again. Then give it. Let it go as soon as possible to someone or to something that matters. And pay attention. Pay attention to how it feels. This is a great opportunity to do some inner work and shadow work and reprogramming work. Pay attention to what shows up in your life the next day or the next weeks. Not just the external world, what's coming to you, but your own emotions, your own thoughts. Notice what's happening. Pay attention to the magic that happens when you remember that you are a part of the infinite flow. Money is divine consciousness. And it's not about possession. It's about participation in the flow of creation. The more we circulate the energy of abundance through Tzedakah, the more we prove that Source can trust us as a vessel of her infinite wealth. To test Source is to trust Source in this case. And those who trust receive beyond measure. You cannot outgive the universe. It's literally impossible. The more you give from a place of trust and openness and love, the more the universe has room to give back to you. But you have to give first. You have to make that space. You have to take that leap. You have to show the universe that you trust, that you know that there is more where they came from. This is Tzedakah. This is the secret, and this is the magic. May you always be held in the abundance that you are, brother, sister. And I want to give like a final word too. Not talking specifically about Tzedakah, but about money and men. And I'm going to do maybe in the future, if you want me to write down in the comments, I can do a specific video about men and money. And I want to give just to talk to my brothers out there, right? Because especially today with all this, there's a lot of confusion of the masculine, and you see all these videos online. It's like men should pay for everything and men shouldn't pay for everything and have 50-50 and all. Okay. It's very important for men to understand your connection to money. For example, I've had men that I've dated when I was younger who never paid for anything, were not really givers. And they also didn't receive anything from the universe. And then, I was with a guy, for example, he paid for everything. Like he was like the most large, like he just like paid for everything. But he didn't do it from the right reason. Because a lot of men make that mistake. A lot of men use money as a way of controlling a woman. A lot of men, and in the beginning, sometimes we can fall for it if if we're young or whatever, but a lot of men will actually use giving a woman money or paying for money, not because he wants to give to his vessel, right? Because that's what you do. If a man is the channel, the woman is the vessel. And when you give to your woman, she multiplies it and everything comes back to you. But when you do it with love, when you do it with honor, honoring your woman, honoring the womb, honoring the feminine, most men, even when they give, they don't do it from the right reason. They do it because they use money as a way to control that woman. But that never lasts. It's always going to collapse. It's always going to crumble one day. It's going to explode one day. And the woman is not going to feel fully safe and fully surrendered to this man. So it's not just about Tzedakah. It's how we are choosing to use our money, right? How men, women, all of us, how are we seeing how do we even see money? Really ask yourself questions. How do you see money? What is that? What is money for you? What is money to you? You know, I work with couples sometimes, but when I work with men and women, we write letters to money. We write letters to this energy of money sometimes, and it really helps. Like, I go really deep into the programming, and because it's so important to understand our relationship with money, because our relationship with money is a very it's really correlating to our relationship. If I'm a woman, it's correlating to my relationship with the divine masculine, with the masculine energy itself. And if you're a man, it's actually also connected to your relationship with the feminine energy, with the flow of money. So anyway, that goes deep. That's, you know, a whole conversation on its own. But notice how you're flowing money through you, right? Especially you guys men today. Like, we need to have a talk about so many things. But don't use money as a way of control. Ever. Not men, not women, no one. Money is a divine energy that if we use it for control, we're going to get karma biting our asses off later on. How are you using money? Are you giving enough tzedakah? Are you giving it with the right reason, with the right intention? Do you remember it's not even yours? None of this is ours. You know, these jewelries I'm wearing, these beautiful rings that I love and make me feel in my power and in my essence. This beautiful hair that I have, it's not mine. Nothing is mine. I am a part of this experience. I am playing out the role of a human person right now. And it's all going to go in a split second. But in my time here, how much light did I manage to share, to create, to expand in this universe? That's the most important thing. So I love you so much. Please check out my books. They are on my website down there. There's a link, motherisrising.com. If you want to work with me, if you want to do private medicine ceremonies, my medicine ceremonies are very unique and they're not for everyone, but they're going to shake you up for sure. And if you want to do a medicine ceremony, please, you need to buy an interview, because again, I can't work with everyone. I have to pick and choose who I'm going to work with very, very carefully. And I love you all. I wish you magic. Remember that you are light and you are a part of the Divine Mother. And may we all return to the womb of the Mother and return to sacredness and return to holiness. I love you all so much. Thank you. Please subscribe, like, and share so I can continue making these videos and share the work of the temple. And may the Goddess bless you all.